Bob, now that Florence is a tropical storm, does that mean the worst has already passed?
For the most part, yes. The fact that the storm surge is still going to be there, it's still life-threatening, but it's not going to be as high as it was when the system was out in the Atlantic. On top of that, the rain is still going to be intense, catastrophic, but it's not going to be as widespread, and it's not going to come down at the rate that it did when the storm was out over the Atlantic. But this is not over by any stretch. And looking at the satellite imagery, it's actually now moving to the southwest a little bit more, and the European model had suggested that would happen. Is there a chance that it could get back out into the waters? Not much, but it's very close to it, and that means the circulation, at least part of it, is still out over the water. And you can see from the satellite imagery, this cloud formation is pretty good as far as a healthy looking storm goes, and a lot more moisture is going to be coming into play as far as rainfall goes through the night and through the day tomorrow in places where they don't need the rain. The winds have come down from the 11 o'clock advisory now down to 65 miles an hour, so the wind is becoming less of a factor, but still 65-mile-an-hour sustained winds can cause power outages, down trees as well, especially when the ground is so saturated now. Those trees and that root system won't be nearly as strong. This is Saturday, again at 8 o'clock. You can see 50-mile-an-hour winds, and then it starts to move off to the west very slowly, and then it gets picked up by a trough and carried off into the Atlantic eventually. But for this most part, for the next 36 hours, we are going to see a good chance for some heavy rainfall continuing. You can see those bands continuing to line up hundreds of miles, at least 150 miles south of New Bern, and that continues to roll right into that region, with the center being right near Garden City in Myrtle Beach near South Carolina. And here's that rainfall. This is one of those feeder bands that continues to just work its way on shore. And yes, the estimate's now at 20 inches near Maysville. 20 inches, and also all that area in gray that you see there, that's plus 16 inches of rainfall. And near Oak Island, 13 inches has fallen thus far, and you get the picture. More is on the way. As long as the system is close enough to the Atlantic Ocean, it's going to draw moisture. More storms are going to develop over the course of the next at least 36 hours, and then it goes into the Appalachians, where it will also bring some heavy rainfall. We're watching Isaac falling apart again. It got a little better earlier around 5 o'clock. The Hurricane Center, it's back to a tropical storm. Now, there's not really much to it again this evening, as shear is kind of ripping it apart, though we start to see some development of some stronger cells there. We'll watch it as it heads off to the west. And by Tuesday of next week, we'll know if it's going to redevelop. We have some dry air in place here, and that means fewer storms around, maybe a few morning showers on Saturday. And then we'll start to see those focus inland in the afternoon. Not much, so the rain chance very small on Saturday. Sunday morning, there's a chance for a few morning showers, again near the coast. And then the main focus will be inland as that sea breeze pushes off toward the east. Currently, it's warm, it's muggy as a result of that west wind, northwest wind now at 6, and the heat index at 91. The high today did manage to get to 88 degrees. Our low this morning was 74. Temperatures currently warm everywhere. There's not a lot of rain around earlier today to cool things off. Temperature now at 83 degrees in Northport. For boaters tomorrow, west winds at 10 knots. Seas will be 2 feet or less with a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The extended forecast calling for just a 20% chance for a few showers on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You can see that there. So there'll still be a few around. Most of that will be inland because of that west wind. Then we get back to the scattered afternoon and evening storms, and they will be pretty heavy, I think, especially if we get some of that moisture from Isaac. We'll be watching the tropics, especially next week around Thursday and Friday. If they were to redevelop and move our way, it would be that time frame that we'd see it. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you.